Hi, guys. Tonight, let your mind drift into a world where warmth is only a memory. A world with no central heating, no space heaters humming in the corner, not even the familiar glow of a fireplace. You're standing at the edge of a frozen frontier, snow already curling around your boots, and the first breath you pull in feels sharp enough to slice. The wind tugs at your coat like it's testing your resolve, asking whether you're truly ready to walk the same frozen paths the early American settlers once walked, straight into storms that seemed built to strip the warmth from your bones. You take one step forward, then another. And a simple truth hits you. If you tried to survive a winter like this with only the comforts you know today, you wouldn't last long, not even close. Before we sink deeper into this cold night, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if what I create truly connects with you. And while you settle in, drop your location and local time in the comments. Now dim the lights. Let the cold rise at the edges of your imagination. Follow your breathing as it slows, and step into the story. The storm begins. The snow under your feet crunches with that brittle, unforgiving sound that only deep winter makes. This isn't gentle snowfall. This is the kind that slants sideways, pelting your face like thrown sand. You pull your collar up. The fabric stiffens instantly in the cold. The storm stops being weather and starts becoming an opponent, one that never sleeps. Trees along the frontier path bend under the weight of ice. Your fingers throb and you tuck them deeper into your gloves. Ahead, through the storm's blur, a small settlement emerges, a cluster of rough cabins that look more hopeful than prepared. Early settlers had no warning about winters like these. Nights where temperatures dropped so fast that water froze solid inside their homes. You feel that truth with every step. The wind blasts across your path, metallic and bitter. You smell that cold, sharp, clean, almost painful. Branches rub together under the snowdrifts, weaving a hushed, restless sound. To your left, a cabin leans tiredly into the storm. Its door hangs crooked, groaning on its hinge. You picture settlers ducking inside, shaking off snow, bracing for a night with no real fire. A strange memory surfaces from old journals. Some settlers believed rubbing goose grease on their cheeks helped stop frostbite. Odd, until you imagine being cold enough to try anything. You reach the door. Your gloved hand slides across frozen wood. A long crack runs along one wall, wide enough for a knife to fit through. How did anyone sleep in a place like this? You push the door open. The hinges scream. Inside, the room is dim, gray light leaking through the gaps between logs. The dirt floor is frozen solid, pooling cold around your ankles. A shallow pit in the center shows where someone tried to build a fire. Only ash remains. You touch it, ice cold. You whisper to yourself, imagine sleeping here. No fire, no real insulation, just layers of clothing that barely hold in the warmth. You run your hand across the wall. The wind pushes through tiny cracks, each one a reminder that the cold always finds a way in. You peer out through a frost-covered window. The world outside is white, violent, breathing heavily. Somewhere out there, settlers walk through storms like this carrying children. Blankets, tools, anything they could save. The half-built cabin. You leave the shelter and push deeper into the storm. A second cabin waits farther up the slope, unfinished. Raw, bones exposed to the sky. The walls reach only to your waist. The roof is half a patchwork, half a prayer. Tools lie scattered. Chisels on a stump, a hatchet half buried in frost. Someone worked here until the storm arrived too fast. You imagine the moment the sky darkened, the frantic gathering of tools, the race against weather that didn't care about their plans. Travel in those days took months. So many settlers reached the frontier just as autumn gave way to winter. They didn't have time to finish homes. Winter didn't wait. A memory surfaces from a wanderer's journal. Some settlers sang while building to keep. Warm, believing the vibration heated their chest enough to keep the hands working. Maybe it was true. Maybe it was hope. The snow-sealed cabin. You push forward again, the storm rising around you. Another cabin appears, buried so deeply in snow that the door is completely sealed. You brush the drift with your glove, smooth, heavy, still. Families trapped inside must have felt terror as the snow climbed the door, blocking the only exit. You dig until the door cracks open and slip inside. The silence is strange, thick, almost sacred. The cabin shakes when strong gusts hit the roof. Snow spills across the floor like a pale river. A straw mattress lies in one corner, a wooden stool overturned, a few clay pots knocked aside. It looks like fear passed through here and left everything slightly crooked. You touch the shuttered window. Snow pushes against it, pressing inward. The wood vibrates under the weight. Accounts from the era mention families waking to find their doors completely frozen shut, sometimes forcing them to break holes through the walls just to breathe. And yet, snow had a strange gift, too. Packed tight against the cabin, it insulated the walls, blocking wind even as it trapped them. Folklore whispered that winter spirits packed snow around the homes of families, destined to survive. Half superstition, half comfort for frightened children. Inside this cabin, you feel that mixture, fear and protection, danger and quiet. You press your palm to the wall. The storm outside fades into a muffled roar. The room feels like the eye of a blizzard, fragile but still. You open the door again with effort, squeezing through into the cutting wind. The blast hits your face like a slap, waking every nerve. The world outside is bright now, but still harsh. Snow glows like spilled white fire, and the cold story is far from over. Outside, the world feels newly carved, sharp, white, and shifting under the roar of the storm. The horizon has nearly vanished, swallowed by a sweeping curtain of snow that moves like a living tide. You drag your boots forward, feeling each step sink deeper than the last. And for a moment you pause, listening for anything besides the wind. There is nothing, just the endless exhale of winter wrapping the land in a silence, so complete it feels ancient. You pull your coat tighter and move on. The storm seems to change personality now, less frantic, more deliberate. As if it has decided you are staying long enough to be tested. The cold grows heavier on your shoulders, settling there like an invisible weight. Your breath fogs instantly, swirling away before you can fully exhale. You lower your head and push through the drifts, each step a slow negotiation with gravity. Then, somewhere ahead, a dark shape flickers through the white. At first you think it's another cabin, but as you come closer, the outline reveals itself to be larger, taller, sturdier, 2 stories, maybe more, its silhouette stubbornly holding against the storm. The structure rises from the snow like a sentinel built on desperation and hope. Settlers sometimes attempted grander homes before truly understanding the cost. And you sense this might have been one of those ambitious experiments. You approach slowly, your boots creaking on ice. The house is half buried, the lower windows swallowed beneath the drifts. The upper beams groan under the weight of packed snow. Yet the door, tall, thick, reinforced with iron nails, still stands visible. You brush snow from its surface and run your fingers along the grain. Deep axe marks linger there, the scars of hurried craftsmanship. You push. The door clings to its frame for a breath, then gives way with a low, exhausted sigh. You step inside. The difference hits you immediately. The wind fades into a muffled whisper. Your ears ring in the sudden stillness. The air is cold, bitterly so, but somehow steadier, as though this house learned how to hold itself together better than the others. You see the remnants of a staircase on the left, its steps uneven and warped. A few broken pieces of railing lie scattered across the floor. Snow has crept inside through every weakness. Windowsills, door edges, gaps between planks, but the house still stands its ground. You take a slow step forward, and the floorboards respond with a long, low moan. A faint scent lingers here. Old wood, damp straw, something that might have once been smoke. You imagine a family huddling close to the center of this room, wrapped in blankets, rationing the last of their firewood. Maybe they slept in shifts. Maybe they prayed for sunrise. Maybe they cried quietly into their sleeves, knowing that winter did not care how deeply they loved each other. You brush snow from a collapsed chair and notice a scrap of fabric caught on its edge. Wool, frayed, once dyed a warm red. A child's scarf, perhaps. The color remains stubborn, even under the cold. You lift it for a moment. The fabric is stiff with frost. It crackles softly between your fingers. You set it down gently. A faint creak echoes above you. You look up. The second floor, though heavily damaged, still exists. Bare beams intersect overhead, forming a crooked grid that frames patches of gray sky leaking through the roof. Snow drops rhythmically through those holes, landing on the ground with soft thuds like a slow, uneven heartbeat. You walk toward the staircase, placing each step with caution. The first board bends beneath your weight but holds. The next groans. You grip the railing, The wood feels cold enough to burn and pull yourself upward until your head rises just beyond the lip of the second floor. What you see there stops you. A small bundle sits in the corner, wrapped tightly in cloth and tied with rope. Snow dusts its surface lightly. You step closer, your boots crunching on frozen boards. It is not food storage, not tools, not firewood. It is a trunk. Handmade, reinforced with leather straps. The kind settlers used to carry the most important things they owned. Letters, heirlooms, last pieces of a life left behind. You kneel in front of it, brushing away the frost. The lock is simple, rusted, the metal flakes when you touch it. When you lift the lid, it opens with a brittle crack. Inside, you find the past. A child's wooden whistle. 2 wool mittens, one tiny, one adult-sized. A folded map showing a route westward, ink faded almost to invisibility. A glass jar containing a candle stub burnt nearly to the base. A leather-bound journal, edges stiff from the cold. You lift the journal carefully. The first page is blank. The second too. Then, faint but legible. The third page holds a single sentence scrawled in shaky handwriting. "If the storm takes the house, we will follow the light." You stare at the words, feeling a quiet tremor run through. The floor beneath you, either from the wind, outside, or from the weight of the story left behind. You close the journal slowly and sit back on your heels. The storm continues to howl beyond the walls. But inside this abandoned home, another kind of silence settles. Heavy, meaningful. A silence that feels like a message carried across centuries. You take one calming breath. The cold presses close, but no. Longer feels like the enemy it was when you began this journey. You rise to your feet. Your story in this frozen frontier is not finished.